So the JJS update dropped like a few days ago. We've had enough time to like process these balance changes and the rework for MEI. So I kind of feel like giving my early opinions on these changes, and I'm going to see like how this follows through into the future. So let's start with the major thing this update brought to the table, which is the MEI rework. This rework, after using it for a little bit, is extremely fun. Before this update, MEI had to be one of the most boring characters this game had to offer. She had no neutral, no thought put into her evasive bait. All she had for a gimmick was her air combos, the novelty of which went away like a week after her release. And she's not even the best character at air comboing. Locust Guy is better than her in every way. Locust had more consistent damage. Locust's uppercut wasn't evasive punishable like MEI's was. They both absolutely had no neutral, but Locust Guy just had better combos. He was just better than MEI in every way. MEI was just Locust light, his pre-evolution. And that's such a sorry state for a character to be in. Not only is the identity that you have extremely boring, but it's not even the best version of that identity in the game. MEI before the rework was just in a terrible spot. But this rework changed everything for MEI. 2 new moves, a different R special, and a new front dash is some great stuff to see. I'm glad to see characters that have already been put into the game getting like major changes like this because their design wasn't as good as they were supposed to be. I know it's not like the best for the growth of the game, but I really like when developers go into older content for their game and sort of freshen up and revitalize what was there already. MEI isn't particularly old, but I'm appreciative that she wasn't just forgotten. Nobody liked old MEI, whether you thought she was good or bad. And so seeing them go back and make these changes, I'm really liking that. But let's actually go ahead and talk about the content that was added. As a whole, MEI's whole playstyle got redefined with these changes. They actually gave her neutral. They gave her a teleport, they gave her a boomerang projectile, and they gave her divine bird totality. This teleport is actually sick as hell, and I think there's gonna be a lot of mix-up potential you can do with it. Like, not even counting the use it has in combos. On its own, this shit is elite. Currently, one of my favorite things to do is teleporting upwards while the opponent dashes in while they're getting up, which allows me to get some kind of Gojo teleport mix-up while they also can't see me, unless they move the camera upwards. This shit works and it's pretty consistent as well. Being able to go any which way with the teleport, that freedom really feels nice. Somehow, someway, MEI's little brother has more mix-up potential than Toto. Boogie Woogie's not giving you results like this. Boogie Woogie is not mixing people up like this. Toto in general, bro, just what a horrible character. The only thing that Toto does better than any other character is farming YouTube Shorts clips. Honestly, I'm waiting for the day they rework Toto. That's what I'm waiting for. Since the beginning, I've always thought that Toto's kit doesn't even mesh well with his Boogie Woogie. It has always felt like his kit and his Boogie Woogie were made separately. And good news for MEI though, it's not the same for her at all. With MEI, it actually feels like her R special, it works so well with her kit. It'll take some time to get used to, because I mean, actually inputting the buttons for teleportation, keeping track of like all the directions you can go through. Right now it's kind of difficult on the fingers when you're thinking about that as well as fighting the opponent. On top of doing these air combos that we'll talk about later, it's really a lot to keep track of, and oftentimes I find myself fumbling by accident. Don't quote me on this, like, I'm not really sure this is actually the reason, but for me, what makes the teleport kind of difficult to use is the fact that the direction of the teleport kind of depends on the direction and the button that you press right away. Like for example, if you're holding forward and you press R, you're always going to teleport forward. You can't really change direction after you press the button. I think making it so that you have to hold your direction during the animation, instead of locking in a direction before the animation starts, I think that would feel a lot more comfortable. But that's a really niche issue, and I haven't even talked about anything else regarding this character. So let's move on to her other moves. Her 3 got changed into this really cool projectile attack. This is easily my favorite new MEI move. The move is safe, it's super fast, and it has great neutral applications. Alongside the bird buffs and teleport, MEI neutral is actually legitimate now. She's graduated from being an M1 merchant. She also got a new move in her impetus updraft. This move is pretty solid, but it has a way lower horizontal range than you would think, but the end lag on it is atrocious. Both in the air and on the ground, you're in end lag for so long if you miss it. It's just a free punish on the part of the opponent. The finisher is cool though. There are also a few balance changes made to her non-reworked moves. Aerial circling is no longer ridiculously powerful for no reason. It's still ridiculously strong because of how fast it is and the fact you can use it so low to the ground. But before, it was unblockable too, which was kind of silly. It was unblockable and it bounced MEI upwards so you couldn't punish her either. I'm glad they made that move way less annoying. It's still really oppressive though, especially with the fact that you can teleport upwards now. After an upwards teleport, you have so many options, including the newly buffed bird control. I called it Divine Bird for a reason. This move works as an M1 trading option. It works as a neutral tool. It helps with forcing the opponent to block after a teleport. It has way more utility now. It's a really great addition to MEI's kit. And then we also have our aerial front dash, which is our R special from pre-rework. First of all, did any of y'all know that your front dash is called a chase? Until reading these update logs right here, I never knew this. I thought the devs just called it a front dash as well. But yeah, her aerial front dash became her old R special, which I think is really cool. I think changing base mechanics like that on the character is the best way to make a character feel unique. The 3 M1s that Ryu has immediately comes to mind. And Hanami's front dash too. But yeah, the aerial front dash is really good, especially as a surprise option. It's fast, it's silent, it's decent on block, though it can be punished if the opponent's fast enough. But if they don't punish it, you get another mix-up option because you go above their head. It's a great move and it adds to the fluidity of this character's playstyle. I feel like the skill ceiling on MEI has really like increased a lot. I'll do a full video on her soon. Let me know what you think about her. Let's move on to the other balance changes now. Let's talk about Yuta. If you remember the Yuta video I made previously, you can tell that I really wanted to lower cooldowns for this character. That was the main thing that I wanted. I found Yuta to be pretty well designed. I thought he was pretty fun, but like those cooldowns were really holding him back. And after these balance changes, they're still pretty bad, honestly. It's better than before, like don't get me wrong, but like it's still pretty bad. I mean, Resolute Slash on an 18-second cooldown, and so is Severing Path. When I use Yuta, it still feels like my moves are on cooldown for an eternity. And it's usually because, like I said before, Yuta's combo game is just super short. You're still spamming out all your moves within like 6 seconds. That means 10 seconds where you have nothing available. But again, it's better than before, so. Especially with the new buffs to the parry. Now this parry feels actually kind of useful. Lowering Rika's cooldowns, giving melee iframes. Yeah, that's definitely pretty good. And in some of these matches, I can actually feel the tangible value that this parry gives to me. Compared to before where it kind of felt like the parry was just like fluff. Just stuff you do for style points rather than actually like helping you in the match. And that's changed and I'm glad. Resolute Slash got his ragdoll times increased, which is pretty good because the link from Resolute Slash to Severing Path, it was kind of inconsistent before. This isn't really the case no more, which I'm glad to see. It also means Black Flash into any Rika move is much more consistent too. Just more buffs that are really useful to Yuta. And probably the most notable thing for Yuta was that Veil Step was added back as a variant. Going backwards and pressing Severing Path will let you use their Veil Step now. This is just like a good extra variant for Yuta. Veil Step is a moving hitbox with melee iframes and a pretty low amount of end lag. So even if damage-wise it's not better than Severing Path, it still has different utility and different use cases, which in my opinion makes it a good addition. Yuta also got his old aerial Severing Path back as a variant for his second wind, but if I may be honest, I don't know why I would ever use this. Like just off the top of my head and like the match that I had, I can't think of any times where I'd rather use that variant over like just a regular second wind. Let me know if you think there's any use cases for it. I can't really think of one right now. The routes feel more limited, the damage is overall less, and so like why would I ever use this, you know? And on the topic of more questionable decisions, Rika moving slower when it's close to the target, this just feels bad to experience in the game. It reminds me a lot of the time when Rika was made to just stand next to Yuta. This was a long time ago though, but it's in the same vein of change where it's like things are more restricted for no reason. It's not like it's hard to aim Rika, and both Rika Smash and Haymaker latch onto the enemy from like light years away. Another thing is, second wind got its second charge end lag increased. Is this a typo? In what universe did the second charge need its end lag increase? That move was already so easy to punish. It is the same end lag as blocking a cursed strikes. If you can't punish that, at what point do we just tell you it's a skill issue and move on? But it's such an odd change that I'm leaning towards it being a typo. Whatever, it's not that important anyway. It's like increasing or decreasing the damage of idle transfiguration by 1. The move was punishable before, it's still punishable now, nothing's really changed. With Yuta out of the way, let's go talking about Kuro. This character is honestly fallen off a cliff for me. I hadn't said this in a YouTube video yet, but I thought Kuro before the changes was like top 4. She was very plain design-wise, which is why I didn't want to race to make a video on her, nor was there any like glaring issues for me to call out. She was just a very plain top tier. And most of that came from the fact that her DPS when she got her injuries off was super high. She could fill up that injury bar a lot and get those hatches off pretty consistently, leading to really good amount of damage without really relying on the opponent evasiving, and also leading to high damage roach swarms pretty consistently. But like now, the amount of injuries she can really inflict on the opponent, it's lowered so much, and it's killed the amount of damage she can really do. If the opponent dodges or blocks your detach, you're not getting a hatch off. Like realistically, in a match against an equal opponent, I don't think you're getting a hatch off if your opponent blocks that detach. And this is bad because Kuro does no damage outside of that. I mean, other than Roach Storm too. But like those hatches were like 3/4 of her damage. And losing out on that, she feels super weak. If you're a Kuro main, let me know if you agree with this sentiment. Did the injury change really affect you that much? For me, it really did. The air variant of Roach Storm is not blockable too. This is like, I mean, whatever. Me personally, I'm mainly using the neutral Roach Swarm. It has really good range, it's unblockable, and it combos into detach. And so this change doesn't really affect me at all, though it makes sense why it's made blockable. So here with the final character who got changes, Haruta got 1 nerf and 2 buffs. For 1, his HP was reduced by 5, going down to a measly 65 HP. His dodge was given a cooldown on successful dodge, and revival miracles were made less costly. So for the max HP reduction thing, I understand why it was made for sure, I just don't really think it's necessary. The regeneration standardization was made like about a month ago. I don't think anybody was complaining about the regeneration for Haruta, so this max HP reduction kind of just seems like something that came out of nowhere. And people definitely took it that way because there was so much complaining about this change. You would think the devs just disabled Sword Off mode entirely. But yeah, to me, it's not that big of a deal, it's just like, it feels unnecessary. Because at the same time, you're not doing this for these 85, 90 HP characters, who also technically got a buff, just not to the same extent as Haruta. To me, it's like, if a character gets a lucky buff from a universal change, unless it's severely impacting the meta of the game, it's like, so be it. The dodge cooldown being a thing is really good too, because it means the perfect dodge bug from before, it no longer exists. You don't have to worry about like perfect dodging something, and then not being able to access your dodge for the subsequent hits. This is a really important bug fix that I am glad they addressed. And finally, with the Miracle Revive things, I still have to use Haruta and like see myself how this affects him, because I've been on MEI this entire update so far, but I can imagine this being an important change. But that remains to be seen. I'll let you know what I think about it when I do try them. For now though, that's really it for the most important balance changes. There's probably going to be some more like to address MEI's M1 resets, so when those drop, we'll talk about that. But until then, that's it. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so down below. Thank you to my current members right now, and that'll be it for the video. I'll see y'all later.